Joining us in the post-game press conference for UConn, head coach Geno Auriemma, along with student athletes Dorka Uhas and Lula Lopez Seneschal. Coach, we'll begin with your opening statement, please.
Thank you. First, it really was a it was a great atmosphere to play in. You love to play in these kind of atmospheres with, this kind of crowd and, playing a great building like this. And unfortunately for us, after we got off to a great start and I thought things were, we were in pretty good shape. I think Ohio State just outplayed us and took us out of a bunch of stuff that we want to do. And again, it's unfortunate that we chose tonight to play, the way we did. But I think Ohio State had so much to do with that. I thought Kevin's team was really, really good and really well prepared, and they knew exactly what they wanted to do, what to take away from us, and we lost our balance and we lost our equilibrium a little bit, and I don't think we ever got it back.
Open up the questions. Start here in front.
Mara with the Seattle Sports Commission, you mentioned a great start in the first quarter, and then there was a noticeable shift by that second quarter. What do you feel like what was the breakdown in a certain area, or was it a couple of places that you thought the difference between the first and second quarter there for you, coach, and then as players?
Are we doing everybody at the same time, or just?
Let's try to go to student athletes first. We'll have more time with Coach after.
From the two of you.
Yeah, I think that we went on a good run the first quarter, and I think that when they started pressing, we kind of got out of control. We were not really ourselves, and I think it was just hard for us to come back to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we gotta obviously give a lot of credit to our press. I mean, they were all over the floor, and I think we were just nobody wanted the ball. Nobody really, was trying to getting open and press that break. And obviously, but not even just the press, but I felt like they were tougher than us. They out-rebounded us. They got the loose balls. They were just tougher with the ball, and that's on us. We got to put in a good lead in the first quarter, but, I think we just got too comfortable in that, and obviously after that we got uncomfortable, and just there wasn't one person on the court that was there to just, step up and just say, get the team together and in a huddle, and we couldn't really, break that. But throughout the whole game, I mean, we got to give credit to them because they did an amazing job of, pressing us and making us uncomfortable. And, they play with a lot of confidence and, as they should in a Sweet 16 game. And we didn't answer with our game plan. I think we didn't execute. We were just, I don't know. It's hard to really explain it.
Are there other questions for the student athletes? I'm going to go to Alexa, and then Lindsay.
Alexa Philippou with ESPN. You guys have been through so much this season, and although this was not the way you envisioned it to end, what will you take from this experience with this group, and anything you were able to, take from the ups and downs and the togetherness?
I mean, I could say so much about this team. I really could say a lot about this team and what we've done this year. And no matter what happened tonight, I wouldn't want to be anyone else. And I wouldn't have done it with anyone else. I'm very grateful, that coach and everyone gave me this opportunity to be here this year and compete at this level. It's never something that I would, thought one day in my life, and it's just very shocked right now. And like Dorcas said, it's a lot of credits to Ohio State because they play their A game. But I'm gonna live here with many more positive memories than negative. That's for sure. I think I'm just gonna have to, move on at some point. But I've had, one of my best years of my life here, and that's credits to everyone in the UConn staff, all the teammates, Dorca, who's been in the same situation as me. It's really a blessing for me to have had that 5th year, and I'm just very grateful for this opportunity.
Lindsay.
Lindsay Schnell, USA Today. Lou or Durka, one of you can answer this. The first half was just a mess. You turned the ball over 18 times, but then you come out and they scored right away in the second half. A lot of times when teams play you, they kind of relax, or they start to think, oh my gosh, what if we beat them? And then you can catch them off guard. They seem to just have a foot on the gas the entire time. Is that what it felt like on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think, if you obviously followed Ohio State throughout the whole season, there were a lot of times they were obviously down by a lot, and then, came out in the third quarter and just completely changed the game. And, it's expected. I mean, it's a Sweet 16 game, and, it's winner or go home. And we knew they're not going to give up, and they're not going to just put their hands up and, see that we're UConn and just kind of shy away from that. So obviously at the halftime, we just had to, come to the conclusion that we got to be better, obviously, in the press, just trying to fight, being down 10. And again, I mean, they have, amazing players. They're a very good, well-coached team as well. So it's just a lot of times I felt like, even though they were pressuring us, we kind of just shot each other on the foot and ourselves in the foot with the turnovers, the bad decision, the rush shots that we made. And we really didn't play like ourselves or like our best selves. But at the end of the day, it was a Sweet 16 game, so we knew they're gonna come out and they're fighting for their lives, and it's kind of like all teams do that. So and we were just not able to respond, unfortunately.
Other questions for the student athletes? Go back there.
Yeah, Jerry Brewer with the Washington Post. Lou, what happened? When your knee buckled, were you afraid that you weren't going to be able to come back? And just what did you channel to play so well once you came back in the game?
Yeah, I didn't really know exactly what was happening, but I think that it was hurting, but I realized that it's like Dorcas said, we don't go home, and that it was maybe gonna be one of my last games in my college career. So I just try to push through. There's not moments like that can happen again, even if we would have won. It's only one game at a time, and I think that I realized that I could potentially just have 20 more minutes in my college career, and so I just tried to push through and come back and not really think about it, and it became more of a mental part, to just get over it and try to do the best I can. Yeah.
We got time for one more question for our student athletes. Come down here in front.
Mara with the Seattle Sports Commission. Sue Bird was in the audience, in the crowd tonight. Did you know that she was here, or when did you find out? And then how did it feel to play in front of Sue? And then the second part of that is, what's something positive that you're going to take away from your season as you walk away tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it was just awesome to play, obviously, in this facility, and having Sue Bird in the gym is just a lot of extra inspiration and motivation for us. And we're sorry that she had to see this, obviously, us losing. But I mean, obviously she's a role model to all of us. So even just, you know, be around her and just watch her play the past, 20 years, obviously, as growing up, and, you know, just talking to her, it's an inspiration. And, you know, I think we all can learn a lot from her. But as for, you know, from this experience, just as Lou said, I mean, the friendships, all the good memories, you know, all the ups and downs. There was always somebody to, you know, pick us up. You know, getting through what we went through, obviously, these past 2 years. It's definitely gonna be a lot of positive feelings, you know, a lot of memories. Obviously, it's very upsetting how we ended a college career in this season, because, you know, you're right, this is not what we obviously prepare for, but, you know, I think we don't really have a lot of negative stuff that we're gonna take away from this, because we've given so much we got so much from this, you know, program, from coach, all the coaches, our teammates, so we're definitely very grateful. But it's just sad, obviously, that it ended like this, but, you know, we're still gonna be in contact with them, our teammates, wherever we end up, and yeah.
Dorka, Lou, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Hold your heads high. Great
Thank you.
season. All right, we'll continue with questions for Coach Auriemma. Start right back there.
Eden Lassie, Just Women's Sports. Cody McMahon had a really good game. What about her was such a difficult matchup?
A lot of times in these games, the players that that get all the attention throughout the season, the key players on your team that everybody focuses on, and then invariably it's somebody else that steps up and ends up being the difference maker in the game, right? I thought her ability to get to the free throw line and convert the pressure that she puts on the defense with the way she attacks the basket. You know, when you're trying to guard two really good three-point shooters like they have, the lane tends to get a little more wide open, and she took advantage of it. And you know, other than the you know, their defense and our breakdowns, I thought she was the biggest factor in the game.
Matt Calkins with the Seattle Times. Geno, this ends a 14-year Final Four streak and a 16-year Elite Eight streak. Obviously, phenomenal accomplishments. Can you reflect on, you know, that achievement, but also react to what it feels like to happen end?
One of the problems with streaks, we had a 30-year and don't lose 2 games in a row streak broken this year. You know, we had, you know, we lost, you know, at home a couple times when you would think, how could that happen? But the problem with streaks is the longer they go, you're closer to an ending than you are to the beginning of it. And it's just a matter of time. You know, it's not like when will it happen. It's just a matter of time. I mean, it's not if it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time when it's going to happen. And it was going to happen sooner rather than later. It's not, you know, it's an impossibility to do what we've done already. What's the next highest streak? 9 or something like that? Regionals in a row? Something like that? It's a big difference between 9 and 29, right? And you take that in stride, and you say, yeah, it was great while it lasted, and it's a credit to all the players that we had, and all the times that you have to perform really, really well at this level. And I think that the other thing that you take from it is how incredibly difficult it is to win in March in the NCAA tournament. And because we made it look so routine and so easy, we gave the impression that it's very easy to do. And it's a reminder that, no, it's not. It's very difficult to do. So you appreciate what we had, what we did, and, start another one next year.
Doug?
Doug Feinberg, the AP. Geno, that first half, I think you were up 19-7. They scored 17 straight. You had 8 turnovers to start the second quarter. I'm sure you worked on breaking a press yesterday in practice, and that's not what you were looking to do, to break it, I'm guessing.
Well, we had 8 in the second half, right? So it just took them 20 minutes to remember what we worked on, I guess. I don't know. I think sometimes when these things happen, the bigness of the moment, it's not like you're getting pressed in a game in January on the road against somebody. You're under pressure now in a regional, and you either handle it and we win the game going away, or you don't handle it and you lose. So that pressure affects a lot of people. It affects people different ways. And I thought we just there was film that I watched at halftime, and the amount of things that we did that were mind-boggling were just really, really, really. Even when I saw it, I couldn't believe it. And I think the emotions, and as one mistake led to another, you could almost see them. They're like they're like in a car wash and they don't know how to get out of it. And it wasn't just one person either. And we talked about that all week, leading up to it. Against their pressure, we're either going to get layups and wide open threes, which we did, or if we turn it over, then we're going to get beat. And we did a little bit of both. Actually, a little bit of one and a lot of the other.
Lindsay Schnell, USA Today, to the point about Sue being in the crowd, I was thinking about when she played for you, correct me if I'm wrong, but you used to have a thing where you would tell her that every turnover was her fault. She was the point guard. It was her job to run the offense. And even if she was on the other side of the floor, the ball got thrown away.
Yeah.
She was the one that messed up. Did it feel like that tonight, that it was one player's fault, or was it just, Dorka said, no one wanted the ball?
Yeah. It was easy for me to say that to Sue, because she's Sue. But the other reason is we have 4 Olympians on that team. So whoever Sue passed the ball to caught it, knew what to do with it, and nobody pressed us. So we didn't have a problem. This particular team has been the issue all season long, with the amount of turnovers that we have, which is way more than we've ever had. A lot of unsure ball handlers, a lot of unsure decision makers, and my fault for not making it a little bit easier on them. So no, it wasn't one person. No, it wasn't one person. There's no way that one person ever contributes to you losing a game.
Alexa?
Alexa Philby with ESPN. Geno, did you feel like, were you surprised by how long it took the team to kind of get things together and respond? Did you feel like there wasn't even really a response? Because given how resilient the team has been, there was always that maybe hope of, maybe they'll do X, Y, Z and cut back into it. Were you kind of surprised by that, or just it was too much at one time?
As I said at the beginning, I think the moment, and you run over to the bench after a timeout, after what happens, and you're sitting there and you could see the look on their faces. And no matter what we try to do as coaches, and it's a problem that we've had all year, that when we're playing well, you know, people watch this play all season long. When we're playing well, we just keep building on and building on and building on and building on. And then when things start to go sideways for us, they kind of keep going sideways for a while. There's some, you know, personality types on our team that have a hard time listening and paying attention, and so when the moment gets like this, so it wasn't like I don't know what to do. So I do know what to do, but I'm in a state of, I'm paralyzed. That's basically what it looked like.
This will need to be our last question.
Vicky Fulkerson from the New London Day in Connecticut. Do you know, you guys have been playing really well of late, and they seem very confident. But you were just talking about the moment, but you couldn't have anticipated that, you know, today of all days
Right.
it would like fall apart like that.
Yeah. No, and that's why the NCAA tournament's the NCAA tournament, and that's why you see the scores that you see, and you see the results that you see. Is that the NCAA tournament does incredible things to people. It elevates their game to a higher level than they've played at all year long sometimes, and it completely paralyzes some players because the moment is too big. And the moment hits you, again, when you're not playing well. So if you're a great player and you're used to scoring and things are going well, or you miss, but you know we have another game tomorrow, you go on a little bit of a shooting slump for the game, you know you only need a couple more buckets to get out of it. And if not, you know, we'll just chalk it up to a bad game and we'll go on to the next one. But when you realize I'm not scoring or I'm not making a good decision, and with each missed, we've been a really, really good free throw shooting team all year long. And then you go tonight and you got guys that can't make a free throw. It's not because they forgot how to make free throws. It's just when I miss, the season's going to, if I miss this free throw, we're going to lose. That's kind of the way it looked in my mind. And we never play like that. We never play like that. But for whatever reason, tonight was our lucky night, I guess.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
We'll have Ohio State in momentarily.